Porsche. One of the most well-known brands in the world, Porsche seamlessly blends the mix between race car and luxury vehicle. And as everybody knows, Porsches are expensive. Even a baseline 911 gets you into the hundreds of thousands of dollars territory. Today, we're gonna go over the top 10 most expensive Porsches. There's not a ton of public info on a lot of these sales, but you can still pinpoint some of the most expensive transactions that have happened. So let's just jump right into it. Starting with number 10, the 1979 Porsche 935, coming in at $4,840,000. Purchased by a private buyer, this Porsche was the prominent model in the 1970s and 80s for their GT and racing class vehicles. In the 70s and 80s, Porsche was running the race circuits, and there's not many of these vehicles left around today. The 935 basically represents the golden age of silhouette racing, where they'd make production cars but beef them up so they would kick some butt in some races. This car was first in class and second overall at Le Mans 1979 and featured twin KKK K27 turbochargers and an estimated 750 horsepower at 8,200 RPMs. 4-speed manual transaxle, and was one of the most successful endurance racers from that era. Moving on to number 9 is the 1957 Porsche 550 Spyder. Bought from another private collector, this Porsche collected such a high price tag due to its rarity. There are almost none out in the world right now, and unrestored models are far-fetched and in between. This model in particular had the original manual as well as the original driver's seat, and held extensive documentation of its history. This is one of the most sought-after Porsches still today, and you can tell by its very unique look. I mean, how cool would it be to hop in that car and just go race around a track? It's no wonder that it sold for 4.9 million USD. There's just not many of them out there anymore. The next Porsche on our list is a 1960 Porsche 718 RS60 that sold for $5,120,000. The 718 RS60 is the evolution of Porsche's small displacement, nimble sports car racers. It brought in a number of wins to the brand, as well as showcased its pristine engineering. The RS60 played a big part in making sure that Porsche was a contender in the early 60s for racing against other big name brands. This particular model raced in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the 12 Hours of Sebring, Targa Florio, Nuremberg 1000 km, and the Bahamas Speed Week. It had extensive recent restoration, and you can tell by the pristine condition that it sits in today. Next on our list of expensive Porsches is the 1998 Porsche 911 996 GT1 Strassenversion. This sold for $5,665,000. The GT1 Strassenversion was only one of 20 produced, and was basically a street-legal version of their car that performed in the Le Mans. It was tuned down slightly, but it still looked the exact same, and has a phenomenal presence when you look at it. And come on, who else loves the fried egg headlights, right? Due to the low production numbers of this vehicle, it holds a hefty price tag, because collectors want them, one of 20. It was even sold with the factory owner's manual, something that's very hard to come by in cars that old, and only had approximately 7,900 kilometers from new. And this is probably one of my favorite cars on the list, because I have a 996, so I'm a little biased, but you gotta admit, it looks pretty sweet. Due to the low numbers and high performance, this car was extremely sought after, which is why it held such a hefty price tag on its sale. Moving on to number 6 is the 1972 Porsche 917/10 Spyder, also known as Panamera, selling for $5,830,000 to a private collector. This is one of the best Porsches available in the 1970s. High power and groundbreaking aero and chassis development, it made this thing king for short circuits. The reason for the expensive price is due to the high demand for high performance vehicles, as well as Can-Am era 917 variants being very, very hard to find. These cars have an extensive racing history as well, driven by legends such as Marc Dunois and George Fulmer. Powered by a 5.4-liter twin-turbo 12-cylinder engine, it was capable of making over 1,100 horsepower, which is insane for the time period, hitting 0 to 100 in a super fast 2.9 seconds. That's crazy. The car earned Porsche their first Can-Am championship and was one of the most significant race cars made in Porsche's history, which is why it fetched such an expensive price tag. Number 5 is the 1985 Porsche 959 Paris-Dakar/Rally Development Car, which sold for a staggering $5,945,000 US to a private collector as well. The 959 was Porsche's technological flagship in the 1980s. Had a twin-turbo flat-six, all-wheel drive, and was some of the most cutting-edge technology for the time period. Many were made for rally and are far, far rarer than the street versions. The 959 changed a lot of what people expected out of technology regarding a Porsche, and definitely set the precedent for their future in tech, along with their vehicles. This is one of 7 developmental examples, 4 of them which are still kept by Porsche at this time, which is why it got so expensive when it sold. It was a class winner at the Amelia Island Concourse, d'Elegance, and Quail Motorsports Gathering, and was one of 3 work-supported entries in the 1985 Paris-Dakar Rally. That's very unique. Due to its significance in rally and the technological advancements, there's no wonder that it became such a pricey car for somebody to buy. I love the look of this one as well. You can tell it looks amazing, and with the performance, wild. An off-road car that can go that fast, a rally car, it sets the precedent for the future. It really goes to show some of the cool things that Porsche did before I was even born. Number 4 is the 1956 Porsche 550 RS, also known as the Rennsport Spyder, selling for a crazy $6.1 million. Built in the 1950s, the 550 was Porsche's first true mid-engine racing model. Looking back, you can find history with celebrities loving this car, such as James Dean. Its lightweight and high engineering standard helped push Porsche through the post-war time period, cementing their abilities as a prominent race car brand. This model in particular was unrestored too, going to show how well preserved it was, and is also one of 90 produced. This is the same car that James Dean had actually passed away in. He was driving his 550 named Little Bastard at high speeds when he fatally passed away. A limited production vehicle with an extensive history that hasn't been restored and is in phenomenal shape. That right there is why it sold for so much money. Moving into our final 3 is number 3, the 1997 Porsche 911 GT1 Rennversion race car, selling for $7,045,000 to a private collector. The GT1 Rennversion is the pure racing form of Porsche's late 90s GT1 program. Basically a direct descendant of the 911 to go head-to-head in prototype level competition. Basically true race cars with limited customer versions built. These were made for racing and racing only. The reason it fetched such a high price is due to the extremely small number of them available. Again, these were race cars. They weren't common for people to buy them and use them on the street. They were mostly used exclusively for racing. Although there's not a ton of info on this specific model, catching the attention of bidders in the room as well as bidders over the phone, it finally sold for its $7 million price tag. Is it worth it? It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Number 2 is the 1982 Porsche 956 works car, selling for a crazy $10,120,000. The 956 introduced ground effects aerodynamics to Porsche's line. This chassis in particular, 956-003, was one of the first work cars that won Le Mans and other major endurance races in the 1980s. The reason it's so expensive is due to it being in the Le Mans. It was a well-documented race car for the time period and helped reinforce Porsche's status as a highly engineered vehicle in the 1980s. This car in particular was the third of only 10 works Porsche 956s produced and had 5 overall wins. As one of the most important Porsches in racing history, the car featured twin Triple K turbochargers, Bosch monotronic fuel injection system with an estimated 630 horsepower at 8,200 RPMs, as well as a 5-speed manual transmission. Bonkers money. Imagine all the Porsche 911s that you could buy with that. That's a lot. Now, number 1, the most expensive Porsche on this list is the 1970 Porsche 917K, chassis 917-024, selling for a whopping $14,080,000. The 917 is basically Porsche's watershed prototype. It's the car that gave Porsche the true guts to know that it could perform in races such as Le Mans, and was one of the most potent race cars of the era. This chassis in particular was linked to Joe Seffert and was leased for the use in Steve McQueen's film Le Mans, giving it both race and pop culture vibes. Not many of the other vehicles have been shown in movies, and this one in particular has some media presence, which is pretty cool. Part of its major price tag was due to, again, its racing heritage as well as its media presence. You know you're getting both a legendary motorsport vehicle as well as a cool piece that has been inside a movie. Rocking a 4,998cc air-cooled flat 12-cylinder engine, it produced 630 horsepower at 8,300 RPMs, as well as a 5-speed manual transmission. With its last sale in 2017, it was also sold to a private collector. But regardless of who owns it now, this is the most expensive Porsche that has sold ever. With Porsche being one of the best car brands in the world, there's no question why some of its cars reached some of those insane price tags that they got to. With such a major hand in racing culture as well as the media, and just straight class and stature, Porsche is one of the best brands in the world. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you would like to see more Porsche content, let me know. Again, thank you guys for watching, and hope I can see you guys at the next one. Peace.